All right, so Ankit, just a brief refresher for you. We understood what is Git, what is the use of the Git till that you were there. Like the main role there was like saving the content again and again. Okay, and then we understood that why we are using version control, different uses of it. It helps in versioning and collaboration and all those things. Then we understood that there are centralized and distributed type of source control, and Git is a distributed version control. And after that we installed Git on the Windows as well, and then we installed it on Linux. So Windows installation, it would hardly take you 5 minutes depending on your internet speed and all those things, so it shouldn't take long. So for starting purpose, what I would recommend is that you, if you have gone through the video, like uh, Google that, download Git for Windows, and start uh, start the download right now, so that while we are discussing, because I will try to make this more lively today, and we'll try to see from your end that how you are coping up. So initially 2-3 days, like till tomorrow also, we would be like going at a bit slower pace, so that I can understand that what is your retention capacity, and uh, how quickly you are grasping the things. So Ankit, while we are talking, so try to download that. Okay. So leave this Linux installation for uh, weekend. You can create your virtual box and your Red Hat 8 on that during the weekend. But right now, download the Git for Windows and install it. It's a like simple installation. Next you have to do just okay.
Git installation or Git bash?
Yeah, Git Bash. It's Git Bash. So Git Bash. Just if you would search like Git, download Git on Windows, it would show you the uh, first window that you get. It's the, so let me show this to you. Git download for Windows, and then it should take you to this Git SCM site, and from there you can download it. All right.
Okay.
So like then we understood the concepts. So Asan, were you clear with the like distributed way that of the Git? Like, we had a discussion about that yesterday, so I felt like you were not too clear about what is the Git distributed nature. So are you clear about that, how Git is distributed?
Yeah. I think I'm good now.
Great. So still, let me just show it to you quickly. That don't mind the drawings that I'm making. So I'm just making it a simple diagram just to let you explain. So just a quick overview. Try to grasp what I'm trying to cover. All right. So suppose like this is me, and this is USAN, and this is a central repository that we have. So like suppose I have committed some changes. So what I have done, first of all, I have made the changes locally. I did a commit. Ankit, you also try to understand what we understood yesterday. So like I did a commit, and first of all I did a local commit. Now it is in my local repository. Then I committed on the central repository. So now the central repository, like suppose I pushed a file there. Uh, so suppose I pushed a file into this central repository, and now this now Asan, you want to work on the same file. So what you will do, like uh, you will first of all do a git pull, and with git pull you will be able to fetch the latest changes that I have made. And once you have those changes, then your repository is also updated, and then you can make those changes, and finally those changes, they will come to the uh, you would do the git push and those changes will come here. So this is a cycle, everybody has to follow this, like this is the standard best practice. So before you are trying to push anything onto the remote repository, you should first of all pull it and see that no one else has made those same changes, and if they have made the changes, then those changes need to be merged. Okay, so that like we have a optimum file. So that we will understand later, but right now I'm just trying to explain it to you that how this is distributed. So I suppose this has made I think, if although it was clear to you, but I think this should have made it more clearer, right, Asa?
Yeah, that's where my doubts were, but
you
I
you
think
got you got that later, okay.
got it now.
So Ankit, you also understood till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there we talk that first of all is the working directory, and it's the like our state when it's our initial state, and once we do the git add, then the file goes to the staging area, and once the file goes to the staging area, then we can either move it back to the working directory or we can move it to the commit. So when we do the commit, it goes into the git repository, and now there is a versioning that is happening on that file. So then we discussed about remote repository, and we talked about master branch. So master branch is the default branch that we have in git, which is created. So uh, so today, like we would be like, first of all, like slowly we would be going to get the feel of git. So first of all, we would see client that we are using, GUI client, which is most used, that is GitHub. So we are going to understand that what is GitHub. And Asan, just to make things clear, like we were discussing yesterday regarding the remote repository. So remote repository, like uh, you can like remote repository, or we can say central repository, that you can configure on your local system also. So that we will understand at the end that how we can configure it. But right now this GitHub is acting as a central repository for us. So in similar way, we can use a our own local server as a remote repository also, or the central repository. So just understand that that can be done, and we will understand later that how it can be done.
Okay.
Okay, so I would suggest both of you. Uh, Before that, Ankit, have you started the download?
No. I didn't start it.
Okay,
I'll start.
so just start that, because then you will be able to like, unless you practice, you won't be able to understand what DevOps is and what Git is. So practice is very important. So try the download
Laptop is
and
laptop is slow. That's why I have kept it. I'll start downloading.
okay. So like Asan, did you made an account on GitHub?
I was actually doing that.
All right, great. So just simple this, sign up for GitHub, and there you can enter the like username. Let me keep it a new username. So Ankit, check that out and try to do that in the meantime, because it's
Yes.
simple. So like, all right. So Okay, so this way, like till this, have both of you have done?
Um, almost.
Okay, so take your time, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, till that I have done.
Okay,
So I'm on that page right now.
all right. So you can write this thing. Like this is not mandatory.
Okay, so I'll just say software. I write code.
Whatever you want to write, it's not an issue. So then you would get an email on your this email account. So I'm taking it slow so that like you guys are able to follow along. Um,
Okay. I have done the verification.
Great. So what about you, Ankit? Where are you at this stage?
No, I didn't do. Actually, my laptop is very slow, so that is why. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I will
So
do it today only.
So maybe Robin, we can proceed and send
yeah,
the recording later.
yeah, definitely. So it's getting recorded. So you can check this out. That initially when you create your account, right now it doesn't have anything with you. So the overview and all, it, it's just like the main thing that we are looking at. We are looking at repository. So repository that I told you yesterday also, like it contains files, history, config, etc. Or what we can see, it is used to organize a single project. Okay, so whatever files you want to keep, so you can keep those files here, like files, images, videos, spreadsheets, whatever you want to keep, you can keep it in your repository. So let's do one thing. First of all, let's create a new repository, and just for the testing purpose. So sure, right. So, So sorry for the trouble. I'm not sure why it's not accepting the password. So let me quickly give it a or let me just log into my existing account. So I guess that also should do it. Okay, so that's sorry for the small hiccup. So we have our account now, and now we are trying to create a new repository. Okay, so in the repository, you can give it a name. Now comes this thing that public or private. Earlier, there was no option to create private unless you have a paid account. But now GitHub is giving the option for private, but we will be making it public so that you also can use that. And the yesterday the command that we used git init, so that was for initializing the repository. So similarly, if we want to do that in a graphical mode, so we can do this initializing the repository with a readme. Okay, and now this licensing also uh, we can keep it open source or any sort of license that we want to use. Okay, and then git ignore also, like if we want to ignore any sort of fines that we can mention. So git ignore we will cover later. So let's create a repository. I guess as Ehsan, you would have done this step also.
Yeah, I'm on that page. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you can see here that this is a file, DevOps. This is our repository, and this is the heading that we gave it. This is initial commit. So there is one commit, there is one branch, and default branch is master. Ankit, till now it's clear to you that what we are doing? Ankit? Looks like he's on mute. So, Hasan, have
So
you created
what did you click? Yeah, I created. I'm on this page
new?
right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm already here. Yeah.
great. So now if we want to like add a file, then we can do this thing, create new file. Okay, this is like all these things we would be doing it in the CLI, and this is just there is just one session for this graphical, but rest all sessions would be for command line only. So I'm just showing you
Okay.
that how limited graphical user interface is. It just have like there are few options, but in command line interface everything is there. So let's make this file test file 1. Okay, and now we can write something here. This file is for testing purpose. All right, then we can do the commit file.
Okay. So we click on commit.
Yeah. So if we want to commit it to the master branch only, then we need not to do anything. But if we want to create a new branch, like that I explained you yesterday, that the beauty of Git is like you can work in isolation. If you want to work on something, then you can create your new branch, work on that thing. If it fails, you can get a new branch, but if it succeeds, then you can merge your changes to the master branch. So that is very helpful, but right now we are going to create it on the master branch only.
Okay.
Uh, so now there is so this thing is there, and I think I want to show you one thing. So till now, both of you, I guess, this thing should be clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear. Can you just repeat that branch point again?
Sure. So what I was saying is that there are different in Git, the thing is you can create multiple branches, like branches of tree. So
Yeah.
different branch, they are like connected to the uh, stem of the tree. So they are like linked to a particular part, but they are all separate. So in Git, you have initially you have a branch like master branch, but then you can, like, suppose you are working on a feature that you are working on homepage of a site. So you create a new branch titled homepage, and you are working on it. And then there is someone who is working on the about us page. So that person would create a new branch and he would work on that about us. So now you two are working separately. You are not related to that person and he is not related to you, and you can keep on working on your task. And once you have made those all your changes, then what you can do, you can merge those changes to the master branch. So this way, like, it helps in parallel development. I hope you are
Okay.
getting my point, right?
Yeah. So, but I understand that everyone is working on their own part, right?
Hmm.
On branch, I guess, and they all can combine and basically update the master branch after they are done with their work. Um, when you say the master branch, are you referring to the main repository here?
Yeah, it's the main repository. So must I what I want to make you understand is that, like, there are different teams. Like, suppose there is a team A is marketing team, team B is development team, team C is R&D team. So each team is working on a particular feature, right? If suppose you have 10,000 employees in your organization, so you cannot have 10,000 branches. All right, so that would make it too messy. So what you do, you create a new branch for a new feature. It's not that,
And
everybody is working on a different branch. No, like if you and Ankit are on same team, then you will be working on the same branch and you will be working on the similar changes. But
no, no,
suppose,
I
like,
got that. I'm good with that. See, it's basically what you're saying is that the storage works on their files, the Unix works on their files, developers working on their files, right?
exactly.
But
So
then then once they are done with all of their work, they commit the changes to the main branch.
right, yeah.
And that main branch is the main repository where all the files are, the Unix file, the storage team file, the application, the testers, everyone's files is over there. But then they so originally all of the files are there. When they create their own branch so that they can work specifically on their files, um, and then once they are done, they commit them back to the main repository.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vague idea that I have. I mean, because I just want to make sure that when we are saying branch, we are referring to the main repository and then on the side repositories for each teams. Uh,
Yeah, because, like, if you are making changes to the changes that you have on your branch, So those changes would not be on the master branch.
Right, until
Okay,
I commit them.
exactly, until you commit them. So because if it would keep tracking of those changes, then some other team would be working on the same thing also, then there would be conflicts. So you will commit to that master branch only when you are sure that yeah, my changes are completed. So it's
Okay.
not like that your that your branch would get deleted once you make the changes there. You can keep on working on the same branch only.
Okay.
All right, so that's just for the for the parallel development. It helps in it.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
so Ankit, you are clear as of now. Ankit, I'm not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
Ankit. Yeah, Ankit.
Due to network issue, the problem.
So you are getting whatever I'm. So you are getting whatever I am explaining, or are there
No,
any questions?
actually disconnected. Actually disconnected the call. So again I rejoined.
Okay, so Ankit, check the recording, and if you find any trouble, then you can ask. So uh, now let me explain one thing that how you can fork things. So fork means you can understand it in this way that you are making a copy of your GitHub repository into your personal space. So like suppose Asan, you have made one file and you have made one repository and Ankit wants to copy that. So what he will do, he will fork that repository and he will start working on it. So now Ankit is not related to you. He just use your repository and he keeps on working on that. And it depends on you whether you give him permission to commit to your repository or not. Otherwise, what he can do, he can keep on working it, and he has a basic idea of what was there, and he needs not to start from the scratch. I know it's a bit vague right now, but once I do it, then you would understand it more properly. So you got a little bit idea that what is forking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So like let's suppose like this is my account. So you can see like this is my account and my ID is Robin, and here like I want to fork from my another repository. So what I will do, I will open the link of that repository like rob2k40/starter web, and now what I would do is that I would click on fork your own copy. So you can see here it shows that I'm logged in as Robin. So it's not uh, this rob2k40. It's my account only, but I want to fork it. So just for the practicing. So what I will do, I will click on fork, and once I do that, it would fork the mm, this
So
data.
basically, it's copying all the files from that other account, other repository to your repository.
Exactly. This is in layman terms. This is what it is doing. So now,
Okay.
if you try to like, you can see like this is the repository name. You check it at the top also, it shows Rao Robin. So this is my current account, but it copied the starter web repository here. And it shows here on the top that it forked from rob2k40/starter web. I hope
Okay.
now things are clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have a repository to work upon. And what we can do is we can like now comes the main part that how we are going to sync this GitHub with our CLI. So I guess we can start this because it's like showing 5 minutes or so. So So let me try to clone. So by clone, you can understand the literal meaning, like we are trying to clone the repository, which is the remote repository or the central repository, onto our local system, right? This is the meaning of clone. So I am creating a directory. So right now it's empty. So to clone that, I am doing git clone, and now I need what you need to clone, that you need to provide to it. So it is how you can get that. You can go to this code and then this clone with HTTPS. So there you can click on this copy to clipboard. So now it is copied it. So this is the URL HTTPS and then github.com /starter.web. Let me show you the full URL. So this is the URL. All right. So not everybody has the permission to clone this. Like you should know the password of that GitHub account, or you should be given a permission there to clone that directory onto your local system. So Asan, you can do that thing also. Like you have created that repository, right? So open your terminal and try to do this git clone. Okay, and copy that URL. I suppose you are able to follow along with me.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so
1 second, but I don't have a. I didn't do the forking because I didn't had any
no,
second
no,
repository.
no, forking is not necessary here. So forking, that's fine. What you can do is like you can just you have a repository with you, so you just try to copy it. Like we created this DevOps repository. You also created one repository. So go to
Yeah.
that repository and go this clone.
Okay, just 1 second.
Okay, so
Okay, so I'm here. What do? I click clone with HTTPS.
no, you need not to click anything. You just
Okay.
copy to clipboard, this icon that you can see here.
Yeah. Okay, I did that.
All right. So now open your terminal. Do you have your VM machine ready?
Yeah. 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
So you can also share your screen, or if you when you
Oh,
trouble.
I'm on a, like I'm using a two different machines. For one is where my VM machine VM virtual is,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm using the call for a different machine.
Okay. So Asan, like, and Ankit, this meeting would get end in like few seconds. So let's reconnect back once it ends, and then we can.
Which link, sir? This link.
Yeah, Ankit, you were saying anything?
Yeah, this link only is
Yeah, same link you have to use.
Okay.